everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We give it a few minutes just in case people start joining in. But if Carla, if you are ready to go, it's all yours.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you, Camilla. Well, welcome everyone to the Faculty of Kinesiology Information Night. We're so glad that you're choosing to be here tonight. I'm Carla Grundison, one of the undergraduate program advisors here in kinesiology. First, I'd like to begin with a land acknowledgement of where we're located and how grateful we are to be here. The University of Calgary, located in the heart of Southern Alberta, both acknowledges and pays tribute to the traditional territories of the peoples of Treaty 7, which include the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprised of the Siksika, the Piikani, and the Kainai First Nations, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda, including Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Districts 5 and 6. So tonight I'll be sharing with you an overview of the Faculty of Kinesiology, our undergraduate degree streams and majors, support and opportunities for undergraduate students, and then we'll have some time for questions at the end. So I'll invite you to save your questions instead of putting them into the chat. So maybe note them down and yourself and then share them at the end, and we'll have time for that. In kinesiology, we believe that together we are stronger. We are one of the top sports science schools in the world, and we really are shaping the future of sports science, health, and performance. And we're thrilled that you're considering studying with us. We find excellence through collaboration. We're a dynamic faculty that combines multidisciplinary academic programming and research with extensive connection to the campus community, to our local community, and to the international community. And there are a number of areas where we are keenly committed to promoting and enhancing equity, diversity, inclusion and accessibility, Indigenous engagement, mental health, global engagement, and sustainability. And collaboration starts with the connection we have within and between the units that comprise our faculty. Our academic programs, both undergraduate and graduate, and I'll talk a bit more about the undergrad programs in a few minutes. Our Human Performance Lab, which is where our faculty members have worked with organizations such as Nike, Adidas, Garmin, World Rugby, and more, offering the opportunity to do things like test turf surfaces and athletic footwear for player safety and performance. Dinos Athletics, these are our varsity athletic teams. The Olympic Oval, which was originally built for the 1988 Winter Olympics right on campus. And you can skate for free as a student at the various public skating times we have throughout each week during the year. Active Living, which is the home of all of our fitness classes, our racket courts, aquatic center, climbing and bouldering walls, and the outdoor center where you can rent outdoor equipment and find related courses and workshops. All students have an Active Living membership included in their general fees, so it's all available for you to use. And a new feature is that we have a sensory-friendly workout space, which is a quieter environment in our fitness center with dimmer lights and limited capacity, designed with a neurodivergent student population in mind. And our sports medicine center is where you can find physiotherapists, sports medicine physicians, massage therapy, specialized clinics for knee and shoulder injuries, and so much more. All of these services are available to all UCalgary students, and the practitioners are directly linked to our faculty and to the research being done here. So in kinesiology, we have about 1,100 undergraduate students who are working towards their bachelor's degrees, 130 graduate students working towards their master's or PhD, and about 40 faculty members, many of whom are nationally recognized, having won awards for their teaching and innovation. And we also have 3 undergraduate student advisors. In our academic programs, we value evidence-based content in all our curriculum. We value experiential learning, which can be seen in the research opportunities that are available to students, and in the over 100 practicum positions that are available to students as well. Practicums take about 5 to 6 hours per week during the term within a student's schedule of other courses. And a practicum also serves as 1 3-credit course, contributing toward degree requirements. We've partnered with various organizations in the community, including the Calgary Flames, Canadian Sports Institute, physio, chiropractic clinics, just to name a few, which offer students a taste of working in the various kinesiology-related fields before they graduate. We also see experiential learning in the many activity-focused and hands-on labs that we offer, including the unique cadaver lab that is a key part of our first-year anatomy and physiology course. We also value our excellent high-caliber students who have a keen interest in health and wellness and who are excited to engage in research and volunteer opportunities. Cutting-edge research happens here as well. For example, we've received significant funding from the NFL for concussion research to investigate prevention, diagnosis, and recovery, particularly in young athletes. The Shred mobile bus, which is shown in the picture, allows researchers to drive to sites and do the testing, which is especially valuable in rural communities. Thanks to the Joan Snyder Fund for Excellence, we're also working to advance female-focused research to better understand women's health and performance, an area that has historically been underrepresented. And our research extends beyond the Earth, working closely with NASA and the Canadian Space Agency to study the bones, muscles, and balance of astronauts. These are just a few examples of the research being done here. Getting into the details of the undergraduate degree programs we offer, there are 2 degree streams, the Bachelor of Kinesiology, the Bachelor of Science. There's 5 majors, which can be completed within 4 years. And there's an honors program in 4th year, which is optional, but a great opportunity to collaborate with faculty members doing research and really zero in on an area of interest. So we offer 5 majors. Biomechanics, which examines the forces acting upon and within the body, as well as the effects produced by these forces. Learn how to apply mechanical theories and concepts to the human body and its movement, structure, and function. Exercise and health physiology, which builds on the knowledge of human movement and function to focus on the impact of lifestyle, exercise, and diet on the body. Develop an understanding of the body at the molecular, cellular, and systemic levels, and apply your knowledge to real-world situations. Kinesiology, which involves the multidisciplinary study of human movement and function, offering you a solid foundation from which to build a degree tailored to your interests and career goals. Leadership and coaching, which examines the foundations for leadership in a variety of settings. Learn to guide others as they learn physical skills and activities in leisure and recreation, fitness and rehabilitation, competitive sports, and elite personal challenges. And motor and psychosocial aspects of movement, which is the study of the neural, cognitive, and psychosocial concepts as they relate to human behavior in physical activity, sport, and health. Learn to describe, explain, predict, and manage human behavior. When it comes to the specific program requirements, as I've mentioned, we value experiential learning. And as such, we have many experiential labs, including activity labs. While students are expected to fully participate in all activities, we also ensure that all students are included. So we ensure that appropriate modifications and adjustments are made where physical limitations might otherwise prevent participation. The activity labs also offer a fantastic opportunity to make connections with fellow students, resulting in forming study groups and often friendships that can last throughout the program and last a lifetime. Each undergraduate degree requires 40 unique courses to be completed. This includes 18 core courses, which are core foundational courses for all kinesiology students, no matter what major they're in. A minimum of 5 and a maximum of 15 non-kinesiology courses invite the exploration of topics outside the field of kinesiology. And minors from other faculties and embedded certificates such as leadership studies and mental well-being and resilience can be added to a degree as well. We also offer 3 combined degrees, each of which take 5 years. So partnering with the Faculty of Arts, we offer a Bachelor of Kinesiology and a Bachelor of Arts in Dance, combining kinesiology with dance performance and technique. Partnering with the Haskayne School of Business, we offer the Bachelor of Kinesiology and Bachelor of Commerce, offering fundamental business knowledge along with foundational kinesiology content. And partnering with the Workland School of Education, we offer the Bachelor of Kinesiology and Education, offering a foundation in kinesiology along with the theoretical and practical experiences to prepare students for teaching. Students are our focus in kinesiology. Each student's physical and mental health and wellness is a top priority. The university as a whole prioritizes this, but it's emphasized to kinesiology students as we encourage all students to prioritize fitness and wellness, whatever that looks like for them, and see it as a key component of their university experience to build lifelong healthy habits. A few key highlights of the Calgary area to consider with respect to physical activity. It's a little over 1 hour to get to the Rocky Mountains for hiking and skiing to places like Banff and Lake Louise. And don't forget the Outdoor Center offers rentals, which include skis and other equipment for outdoor activities. And Calgary has over 1,000 kilometers of biking and walking paths in the city itself. And many of these paths line the Bow River, which winds through the city. We offer excellent individual one-on-one student advising, making ourselves available to students in person for drop-in advising, as well as over Zoom for students' convenience, and of course by email. Kinesiology and the greater University of Calgary community as a whole has many opportunities and supports available for students, and advisors are a key resource spot to help you connect to these resources and supports. The Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Accessibility, or EDIA Committee, ensures the inclusion of and accessibility for all students. And this is of key importance to our faculty. And the EDIA Committee is also something students can get involved in themselves as well. KSS is our Kinesiology Student Society, which offers events and opportunities for kinesiology students to get involved and enhance their university experience. The SU rep, or a Students Union representative, lends a voice to kinesiology students within the greater campus community of students in the Students Union. As academic advisors, we are one of your most important resources, so check in with us regularly once you're on campus. We're available for drop-in advising or just to connect in and chat. We offer important information about program and degree requirements as you progress toward graduation, campus services and supports, international exchanges, practicums, and more. We're here to help you navigate the university and the various opportunities and supports available to help you have a really great university experience. Here in the Faculty of Kinesiology, we take pride in our outstanding students, and we're excited to see so many of them seeking and achieving excellence within their program and onward in their life achievements. Thank you for taking the time to join us tonight. I trust that you found some value in what I've shared. I'm sure there's some of you who might not be able to stay any longer, but I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have them. So I see one that says, Kim, you're asking, could you give an example of an activity lab? Sure. So one great example is Kines 201. That's one of the first year courses, foundational course. And in Kines 201, students participate in 2 different activities throughout the course of the term and the course. The term is split into two halves, and they'll do 2 different activities. And so they might do, the activities might be volleyball in one half of the term and yoga in the other. And it's really to get an idea of the different movement required for different activities. And it isn't about your expertise or your prowess in that particular sport. It's actually most valuable to being able to see different activities that you might not already be familiar with, so that you can get an opportunity to see the body moving and experience that movement in the activity that you're, in the lab and participating in. So you'd be doing the activities and getting a sense of what that sport and that activity is all about. I hope that helps. Biomechanics major. Can you talk more about the biomechanics major? Sure, that's offered with a number of courses that are in the biomechanics major come from the Schulich School of Engineering. They are offered by the Schulich School of Engineering, foundational engineering related courses. So there's definitely a tie in there with engineering and just the body and its the mechanics of the body's movement. And yeah, that I hope that gives a little bit more info. And I'm wondering what the competitive average is for early admission right now.
I'll take that one if
Camilla?
it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
With competitive average, it's always a little bit tricky because we don't really know exactly how much is going to be the cut until we're already going through the process. So for early admission, it's only about 10% of the acceptance that go by that moment. Most of the acceptance actually go mid-February. Saying that, probably will be about the low 90s for early admission. It's quite high. That's why we always say, if you don't get it in early admission, don't stress. It's very common. It's just a few. Wait until mid-February. That's where the big bunch of acceptance go.
Thanks, Camilla. How many students continue on to a master's degree, such as physiotherapy? I don't have statistics on that. I don't know how many, because we don't always hear back from students to know what they've done subsequent to the program. But I will say that many students use it as a launching point for moving on to physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and also medical school, dental school, chiropractic, all kinds of other programs that students are keen on. So it is definitely something that you wouldn't be alone if you are heading into kinesiology, hoping to move on beyond into physio.
For entrance requirements, that one is always 5 courses. So there will be an English course, grade 12, math, grade 12 pre-calculus, biology, grade 12, chemistry, grade 12, and the last one is either an approved or option course that can be almost anything, really. We have from social work courses, Aboriginal studies, any arts, any other science or languages. So every time we have a few of those options that you have taken, we're always going to try to get your highest average, the highest scores, to make your average as high as we can.
What careers can students get right after graduating? Well, like I mentioned, a lot of students do, not that it's required to go on and do subsequent study, but a lot of students do go on to do grad school and other professional programs. But there are other certifications that students seek and apply for, and use some of the courses that they have taken to get jobs in not just personal training, but personal training related, coaching related, specific sport and A lot of the practicum opportunities are also a great, you can have a look on the website. There's so many that are listed that are practicum positions that give a window into places where kinesiologists would be hired eventually. They may or may not require subsequent education, but it gives students a window in there, and there's so many to choose from. So that's in our kinesiology, well, the website that's actually on the screen right now, kinesiology.ucalgary.ca. In the current student section, you'll find all the practicum positions, and that's a really great start to take a look, and much more than I can share here. Could you break down the 18 required core classes? I mean, I can list them out. I don't know how much help that will do to list them all out, but there's basically the activity course I mentioned, there's anatomy and physiology, there's sports psychology, and just foundational courses that are required for kinesiology. And also, I mean, not to be suggesting everything is coming from the website, but you can really compare all of the programs, again, in that kinesiology section of the website, the current student section, navigate around there. You may have already been looking in the future student section, but I encourage you to look in the current student section and the degree requirements section. You'll be able to see lists of all of the courses required for each program, and you can pull them up and compare and put them side by side and see the differences. So I hope that helps. Competitive average we talked about, yeah, or did you want to?
But more standard admissions, it will be around the mid-80s average.
Okay, great. There we go. Another admissions. Can we use both Chem 30 and Chem 35?
Yes, it's possible. Now, only one Chem is required, but we do have the additional approved course. That one you don't actually get to choose. We choose it for you, but we do that so we're able to choose the highest grade you have. So if Chem 35 is your highest one, perfect, we'll take that one. If it's not, we may just ignore it. Yes.
Great, thank you. Do I have to put kinesiology as first option to be considered for early admissions?
No, even if it's your second option, we'll still consider for early admission.
Okay, great. How are the research opportunities presented to students? Are they shown on a bulletin board or shown on certain websites or something else? There is a section, there's a contact Kines research. There's a whole section where you can reach out for information. There's a section on the website. It would be also research opportunities involves reaching out to faculty members who are doing research that you're interested in as well. That's a key way to be engaging in research, is to be reaching out to those who are doing research that you're keen on, and doing that as early on as possible to get connected and to see what is possible in their lab and with their research. So I hope that helps. If I completed an early application, when would I expect a response?
You could actually hear from us tonight. Yes. Now, it takes a few days to go through all the different faculties, all the different applications, so maybe not tonight, but the first few applications are coming up tonight. So keep an eye for your emails, keep an eye on your study page.
Okay, great. I had a question about how this program works with any abroad programs. Would you take specific courses that you need for the degree? Oh, so study abroad or exchange. I'm guessing that's what that's referring to, studying abroad. It's possible that you could take specific Kines courses. It's more likely that the courses might be a little more broad and they would apply to what we call our senior Kines option requirements. So that's something that we could definitely talk about in more detail. It keeps the options open so that you don't have to find an institution without getting too much into the weeds here with exchanges and study abroad, as long as I'm understanding your question correctly here. There's lots of different options for the courses that you would end up taking. Generally, it isn't done until students don't go on exchange, certainly not first year, often not really second year. It's usually third or fourth year that we more so see students going on exchange. So you have lots of time to be talking to us about that and in more details. Are we able to take kinesiology classes in the spring and summer? Our spring and summer offerings are definitely a very small subset of the courses offered in fall and winter. That said, there's a few that are offered. It can vary from year to year depending on instructor availability and resources. So it's possible, but the higher level the course, the less likely it is that it's going to be offered in spring, summer. So it's typically fall and winter is when you're going to see the majority of the foundational courses. If I want to do physiotherapy as a future career, would a Bachelor of Science be a good backup if I don't get into kinesiology? That's really a question to be unearthed with some investigation into the physiotherapy program itself. We're not a resource on subsequent programs. We don't have a physiotherapy program here at the University of Calgary, UBC, University of Alberta, other institutions. It would be best to be investigating and looking at their requirements, the admission requirements for the program, whether it's one of those two institutions or elsewhere that you want to apply to, and look at what their admission requirements are and see whether the requirements that are listed for the science program that you're looking at would also align and would offer you the opportunity to take those courses. So that's about the best answer I can give for that one. Is physics a requirement? I'll let you answer this one. It's sort of, you go ahead.
Yeah, physics is not a requirement. As I mentioned, is English, biology, chemistry, math, and one other. And early admissions is with grade 11. However, the deadline for applying to early admission is kind of coming up. So if you don't have your application submitted already, as soon as possible. Yes.
The only thing I'd say about the physics, just the course itself, it is for if someone's interested in biomechanics, that is the one program that it's actually an asset to have the physics 30, because there's otherwise a little bit of catch up to do in the first year to get the foundational knowledge for the engineering courses that need to be taken. But that I would say is the only exception. Do you agree, Camilla?
Yeah, no, that will make a lot of sense for sure.
Yeah, okay, awesome. For early, there we go, early admission, this, hopefully, you can see the question, I guess, Camilla.
Yes,
I'll read it out.
Okay. Yeah, so early admission, that's how it works, right? We are looking at level 20, grade 11, instead of your grade 12, because you haven't completed really anything for grade 12. So that's completely okay that we only have grade 11 courses. That's what we use for early admission. Then the second time we evaluate you is with whatever you have completed until that first semester of grade 12. And then we still have one more chance to evaluate you when you finish your grade 12 and submit new grades. So definitely still eligible top 9, yes.
Okay. What are the schedules? What are the schedules like? So your weekly schedule, well, it's going to vary depending on the different lab sections that you get in for the various courses, and because they'll be spread out throughout the week. There isn't one standard schedule. So you can expect classes could be anywhere between 8 and trying to think what the latest 8 and 6 or 7, but that not to suggest that you would be going and attending classes every single day from 8 till 8 until into the evening. It just might be the odd day you might end up in a lab section that has been offered at that time, and that's one that fits best with your other classes or an early morning class. So it's really going to vary, and you're going to probably find that with most programs. the University of Calgary and in general, most universities. There's all different sections, the different labs that are offered. So there might be 10 labs in a course, and they're going to be offered scattered throughout the week. And then you're just enrolling into the one that works best as with the other courses you're trying to fit in. So schedules are going to be varied. That's the best I can say. Can you switch majors? How late into your degree could you change your major? Actually, we're a bit unique in kinesiology here in that you can easily switch majors. It's non-competitive to switch between majors. And so you can do it at any time, at any year throughout the program. There is a window of time, about 4 months of the year between October and end of January, that the system's open to accept such requests, and it takes effect the following fall. So it's not instantaneous, but you're able to put in the request and you can change the major very easily. So that is a bit unique that we don't have different a competition for the various programs to get into. Once you're in kinesiology, you can move around pretty easily. When is a good time to apply?
Now. Really, there is no time like now. I do like to recommend, at least personally, I do prefer to recommend students to apply the sooner the better, especially before December 1st, mainly because of prestige awards. The University of Calgary offers so many different opportunities to get some money to finance your studies in the words of awards, scholarship, bursaries, all those. And our prestige ones, our most valuable ones, the deadline to apply to those is December 1st. In that sense, it is an advantage to apply early. Of course, you don't need to be accepted yet to apply for awards. You just need to have your application in.
Do practicums help students gain research experience, and do they get recognition for their involvement in the research? Practicums, they can touch on research, but there's other research experience that students can get working directly with professors who are doing particular research that they're keen on, and also the honors program in 4th year. So can I do a shadow in the school? So shadowing and coming into, I'm guessing that is asking about shadowing, sort of coming to experience a day in the life of a person attending kinesiology. I'm not exactly sure what that means. That's what my guess is. And actually, I don't know that I've had that question or request before. So I don't know how that works. Camilla, is that something you're familiar with?
We don't really have any program specific for that. We do give tours all the time, and we just had open house. We have UCalgary for students that are just accepted. But if you just want to kind of come to sit on a class, that is something that the professor, the faculty will have to agree to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to, that's something that,
A little more tricky one, yes.
yeah, like you need to, if you want to reach out to us, if that's something you're really keen on, Kinesinfo at UCalgary, and we can check into that. What do you do when you go out into the field on that large bus? Oh, that's the research being done on concussion. So they're doing various tests on the bus. It's very it's very well equipped with all kinds of equipment to be testing. So that's it's definitely focused on that part of that research. Is kinesiology undergraduate a major a good stepping stone for the coming School of Medicine? Yeah, like I mentioned, students every year come in and say that they're keenly interested in using it, in moving on to medicine. Like this is their undergraduate degree, kind of ramping them up to apply into medicine. So it's a good stepping stone. Yeah. Wondering about the 2 streams of Bachelor of Kinesiology and Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology, and I'm having trouble deciding. Also, when completing the application, can you select 2 programs in the same faculty? I would think, I know, Camilla, this is maybe you, but I think I know the answer. I'll let you answer. When completing the application, can you select 2 programs in the same faculty?
Well, usually when we're giving those two options, it's more to have a safety net. So because both programs in kinesiology, in the Faculty of Kinesiology, will have the same average of admission, we prefer to recommend something in a different faculty that may have a little bit lower average. Yeah, it's mainly just to give that an extra opportunity to get into the university.
Absolutely. That's what I would say as well. So you would put kinesiology maybe as your first choice, and then another, whichever major is your favorite major that you're keen on. And like I mentioned previously, it's actually fairly straightforward to switch if you have a change of heart in terms of which major within kinesiology once if and when you've been admitted. So so that answers that piece. And the 2 streams, Bachelor of Kinesiology and Bachelor of Science. So the difference between those 2 streams is that the Bachelor of Science, I'll start with that one. It requires 21 science-based courses to be taken throughout the degree. Whereas the Bachelor of Kinesiology, there's no counting of science-based courses. So that's not a part of the Bachelor of Kinesiology. Now, when I say science-based courses, it doesn't mean from the Faculty of Science, like chemistry, biology, microbiology. It means there's a number of courses within kinesiology that have been already defined as science-based. So a number of those contribute. 12 to 13 of the 18 core foundational courses, in fact, are science-based already. So you're meeting a lot of that requirement just by virtue of taking the foundational requirements. So hopefully that's helpful.
For the next one, if you are gonna be a transfer student, the process is basically the same as a high school student. The only difference is that we're gonna take a look at your GPA, the last grades that you got in your first institution that you've been studying, right? So those first year classes will be very important for your grade of admission, but at the end, we wanna make sure you have the same classes at a grade 12 or higher.
Clarify the processes for early application and regular application. If my early application is denied, must I reapply under regular application?
No, the process is just continuous. It's kind of like a rolling process, right? So if you were not accepted in early admission, the only thing that we need is for you to send new grades. As soon as you get those mid-semester grades, or like predicted, depending on the curriculum you're taking, you submit it to the same place that you submitted the grades before. It's gonna in your to-do list, and we'll reevaluate. But you don't need to do any reapplying or nothing like that. It's kind of like giving multiple opportunities for you to continue your application and get into the university instead of separating the ways you get in, hope that makes sense. Exactly, no reapplication, no. Just new grades.
Okay, I think that was the same question. Yeah, reapply, same thing. Are there any opportunities for study abroad? Yes, there's exchange, so going to a different institution, and we actually just this upcoming spring we have a study abroad to Italy that's happening within the Faculty of Kinesiology, offering credit for a couple of senior kines option courses called Unscrupulous Anatomy. So we can share more about that. I don't know when you if you want to inquire more about it. I don't know if it will be offered yet again. This is the first time it will be offered, so that's just one I'm highlighting because it's coming up in May. But whether it'll be available to you, in subsequent years, we'll have to wait and see how it all goes. But definitely lots of students go on exchange to different institutions. Yeah, students go to Australia. There's it's one I don't mean to be singling out Australia, it's just one that's coming up to mind right now. But definitely lots of students work in exchange into their university experience in kinesiology for sure. How many students apply and how many students are accepted into the program?
We're not really able to share that specific statistic, but what I will say is that if you are in the mid 80s and applying sooner than later, really you don't have nothing to worry. You are a competitive student. Of course, if the more you wait to apply, maybe we have only 3 spots left. Three people with higher grades apply, they are gonna get in instead of you, right? That's why applying early is an advantage as well. But really, if you're in the mid 80s and applying early, nothing to worry about.
Do you have to be in kinesiology to do research in a kinesiology related field? I'm gonna take this to mean research in the faculty of kinesiology with a faculty member. And that piece, I don't want to be saying yes or no because the research piece is not something I'm dealing with directly. There's other folks who are dealing with the research aspects. So that would be something, whether a student in another faculty could be involved in the research happening with the faculty of kinesiology researcher. I have to do some checking on that. What type of volunteering opportunities would be good for kinesiology? Well, I can speak to volunteer, like what students do as kinesiology students, what some students have mentioned that they do, where they're volunteering, and they volunteer they volunteer to do coaching of, kids sports. They're doing volunteering in all kinds of areas within the health field, volunteering in hospitals. It depends really what a person's focus, like interest area is, and perhaps career focus might kind of drive the choices of volunteering that what you might choose to do.
I will just add something to that. If you're thinking volunteer for admission, it is not a requirement. Our admission process is fully based on grades. So please do not worry about that in that sense, but glad to hear that you want to volunteer. And as a student, there's definitely opportunities for you to do that as well.
Right, great. Thanks for adding that piece in. Yeah, I wasn't taking it to be that, but that could
Just in
be
case.
part of the question. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's not required.
No.
If I choose, this might be you. Yeah, choose
Yes.
kinesiology as my first option for admissions, but change my mind after being accepted. Is it possible to change to my second choice before fall 25?
So you can actually change your options all the way until March 1st, both first and second choice. The only thing to know with that is that if you have received an acceptance and then change your option, you're actually going to lose that acceptance and we're going to have to reevaluate you, right? So that's the only thing to keep in mind. Every time you change, we are restarting the process. But you can actually change your mind until March 1st. Now, once we pass that deadline, I would like to recommend, if you're still unsure during the summer, just before starting classes, maybe wait until classes really start taking those first classes. And if you're still being like, no, I want to change, as Carla mentioned before, you can definitely talk to the advisors to make that change.
Absolutely, yeah. If we apply for early admission and don't get accepted, will I be reconsidered for equal acceptance admission?
I think for equal, you mean the grade? I hope so. But yes, so the process is that exactly. If you don't get accepted in early admission, we drop the average to the regular that you can see in our webpage, in our view books, everywhere. That is the mid 80s. And that's what we'll reevaluate you with.
Is there a certain counselor I can talk to that will help me get my prereq and guide me to a better chance at getting into U of C?
Probably the best contacts will be me and my team. I work at the recruitment at the University of Calgary. We have it separated depending on location. So we have this webpage. Even if you just Google really quick, meet the recruiters, UCalgary, it will show the entire list of all of us. In there, they're separated by where you're located right now. But we are all always super happy to talk to you. So please feel free to reach out at any time. I'll see if I can also link the page for that in the chat, so easy to find.
Do profs take first-year students to help them with their research, or do students require more experience to be considered? That's gonna, again, like I mentioned, research isn't something I'm firsthand dealing with, but I think it might vary from in faculty member to faculty member, and depending on what the research is and what's involved, and maybe what background knowledge you might be expected, depending on what's being researched, what's being investigated. So I think it's really going to vary, but I think that students, particularly, it could be possible, at least after you have a year, some foundational courses completed, it's worth reaching out to the faculty member. I think it's going to be an individual case-by-case basis. Faculty member, and also Kines Research, which is where they'll be able to answer more questions about research opportunities. Is it important to take? Okay, there we go. That's you.
For this, it is an advantage in the way that we'll have already your grades by the time we reevaluate you for second time. However, if you didn't do it in your first semester, that's completely okay. As I mentioned, we're still gonna wait until you finish your grade 12 completely before evaluating one more time. So yes, it is amazing if you have them already. It makes life a little bit easier because we see all the grades right away and evaluate you with your final grades already. But of course, if you don't have it, it's not the end of the world. We can still make it work. Yeah, it basically just means that really that you apply early and we evaluate you with grade 11. At the end, it doesn't really make a big difference for when you're starting classes or anything like that. I will say, even if you are not completely confident about your grade 11 grades, you prefer your grade 12 or whatever it is, I still encourage students to apply early because you have your application already in. We are still taking a look at it, talking to you, and you can also already apply for awards, right? So it is an advantage to apply early, but not more for admission, but for the entire process.
Are there any supplementals for this application? I don't know if no.
All good.
There you go. You again.
Okay, so in this case, you are probably going to be first accepted with your grade 11, if those are really high, especially in early admission. But we are still going to wait to see your grade 12. We're still going to need to see them and make sure that you did finish high school and you took all the courses that you needed to take in grade 12. Now, I always like to say to students, don't worry if your grades drop a little bit. We completely understand. It's your last year of studies, your last year of high school. It can be hard to maintain good grades all the time. So we do have a little bit of a space to move around there. If it dropped quite a lot, though, that may be a little bit of a concern, and we'll probably want to talk to you to see if something specific happened. But really nothing too much to worry about that my grade 12 have to be the same or higher, not at all. Of course, the higher the better, but we do want to see it in the grade 12 at the end.
Are there opportunities for paid practicums, or all unpaid? So the practicum program, or the practicum opportunities that we offer, that offer the credit, like one course credit for a senior Kines option, Kines 441, 443, or 445. These are the three courses that you would get credit for if you do a practicum. They are unpaid. Whether there are other work experience possibilities, if something comes across our path that we're posting for students to view on our D2L, occasionally there are other paid positions, part-time positions, that we wouldn't call those practicums, although in just given the nature of the experience you're getting, you could perhaps consider them to be a sort of a practicum. It's not the formal practicum that we we offer, and that you know, we are connected with these organizations, and there's supervisors and certain paperwork that you fill out and connect, and you get enrolled into the course and you get 3 credits and towards your degree requirements. Those ones are unpaid, but there may be other experiences that you may be made aware of as we see them. And if they're connected to kinesiology, we may post them for students to apply. How does the timeline for co-op work? Does co-op make you have to be at school in the summer? So we don't have a co-op program. We have the practicum opportunities. So we don't have a co-op or internship program where you would be working full-time for a semester or a few semesters, as some other faculties and schools have. We offer the practicum opportunity where you can be, weaving that experience in amongst the other courses that you're taking. And it's just a handful of hours per week in a term. And you can do up to 3 and get credit for them. So you can get a taste of 3 different kind of work environments. So I guess the answer to that is the majority of our courses are in fall and winter. So no, there's no need for you to be at school in the summer. Almost all my prerequisites are in the 2nd semester. Is there a chance I could get a conditional acceptance in February?
It will depend what you mean by most. There is a chance, but we want to see at least maybe 3 or 4 courses already completed for that conditional acceptance in February. But it really goes case by case, really depending on the grades and what courses we want to see each program. Now, again, that's where the second choice helps quite a lot as well, because maybe you won't hear for your first option that can be kinesiology, but maybe you'll hear for the second one, and we'll still try to get you in kinesiology, your first option, as we progress, right? So there is definitely still the ability to get conditional offer, but maybe not for your first option.
How beneficial is chemistry in a Bachelor of Kinesiology? Well, chemistry, high school chemistry is required for all kinesiology programs. The Bachelor of Kinesiology majors don't require chemistry. There's only one of our majors that requires 1st-year chemistry, like university level chemistry, which is exercise and health physiology. So foundational chemistry from high school is beneficial. It's required, and it's necessary for those foundational courses. University level chemistry is required for the Bachelor of Science in Exercise and Health Physiology. So the BKin, as you've written it, is Bachelor of Kinesiology, which doesn't have a science-based certain number of science-based courses as a requirement. So you wouldn't need to take university level chemistry. So I hope I've sort of addressed the chemistry from both angles, high school versus university level. After submitting the application through Apply Alberta and Calgary, are there any further steps?
Well, if you completed the full application, that should be it. I will ask, have you applied for awards, right? That would maybe your next step. The biggest thing right now is to go to your new created My UCalgary space and take a look at your to-do list. If there's nothing there, you don't have to worry at all. We're just going through the process. But that's really the best way to know if you're missing anything. Of course, you can always send us a message, send us your UCID, and we can help you get a look for that as well.
Do the required kinesiology courses cover some of the material that would be on the MCAT? So we're not, like, here as Kines advisors, we're not resources on the MCAT or admission to medical school or anything subsequent to the undergraduate program. That said, I do encourage you to look at the degree requirements section in the current student section of our kinesiology section on the website, and you'll see that the exercise and health physiology major includes as a requirement 1st-year chemistry, organic chemistry, biochemistry, 1st-year calculus, first semester calculus. So some of those courses, I don't know exactly what's on the MCAT, but from what I've gathered from students who are indicating they want to go to medical school, and they're indicating that they're wanting to take certain courses, those, that major may be one to look at and consider, but really you want to look into, investigate yourself. What is required for the MCAT, what's required for the medical school to which you want to apply. So that's really important for you to do that investigating and make the best choice for yourself. When do you stop accepting early admission applications?
I will say December is probably the cutoff because we are already giving acceptance for early admissions. However, still apply now. Like the worst case scenario for you is that you don't get early admissions, but you're one of the first ones to be evaluated for February, right? So that's really not a bad thing at all. In that way, still, if you are ready to apply, don't worry about much if it's early admissions or not. Still submit your applications on.
Are there clubs in kinesiology? So the kinesiology, the KSS is your best resource, your best hub for all things related to kinesiology and connection with other students and any clubs and things. How would you find out if you were declined in early application?
In your student page, in your My UCalgary, it will set the status of your application. So probably in there, instead of saying acceptance, we're gonna put that we wanna see more documents, meaning more grades.
If I don't get accepted into Beacon during the fall, should I enroll into general studies that are related to Beacon so that I can have a good transition into Beacon later on?
Yes, do you mind if I take that one?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. That's why your second option is there, right? So you can start university in something different. You can, of course, take something that will be a little bit closer, maybe something in science, especially if you're looking to go into the Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology. So there is ways to make the transition a little bit easier, but the best thing is just to talk to the advisors once you are in the university and let them know that you want to make this change. Like they're the ones that are going to support you through the entire process.
Yeah, and it's great to come and talk to us because we can help to show you how your courses that you're taking in another faculty, another program, how they would align and fill into and meet any requirements. If and when you're able to transfer into switch programs into kinesiology if you're in a different faculty. Are the
And
award scholarships offered
yes, so
following?
we have multiple ones. One category is our automatic award. So for those ones, you don't have to do anything. They are automatic, granted. But for others, high school entrance and prestige, they are actually more valuable. You do need to apply. So you go to your My UCalgary page. On the left side, you should find a finance button. You just press there and you'll find all the information on how to apply for awards. There will still be spots, but it is true that most of the spots will be given in February. So if you taken all the courses that you need for kinesiology are in the second semester, it is a little bit more of a risky game in that sense. It is preferable to do it in the first semester. But there will be still spots open. Yes, so that's the ones that we'll take a look at, right? The predicted, whatever you may have, that's great documents to send us for sure.
Is there a difference between applying as a high school student versus someone who's graduated and taken a year out, gap year?
Depends if you're taking any course on post-secondary education. If you're taking around 3-4 courses, you may not be a high school student anymore. You may be a transfer student. That's a detail that we can definitely talk about. But if you just were enjoying traveling, whatever, during that gap year, nothing to worry about, exactly the same. Well, I guess the only difference will be that you can send us your final grades directly instead of all the 11 grade first semester and all that. You'd have the ability to just send us the final ones right away.
Here, I think that these are almost all you, Camilla. Does my sports leadership sports med marks benefit to my applications? Is it a
Not
good
really
thing?
for application. As I mentioned, is fully based on grades. You could definitely mention that on prestige awards to give you a little bit of a advantage of showing your passions on those awards, but at the end, admissions, no. And not writing for application, not essays, nothing like that, but yes, a little bit for awards. If you can.
You get an admission offer, when
Oh,
is
to
the
accept
deadline?
your offer, you have quite a long time. Ideally, we do want to hear before May that you are accepting your offer and paying that deposit fee.
And do semesters start and end fall, winter, and summer? Do you want to take
Yeah.
that, or do you want me?
Yep, you can take it for sure.
So fall term starts, well, lectures begin after, regular term lectures begin after Labor Day, early in September, and end just before the holidays. So final exams are just before the holidays in December. And in winter term starts after the new year. Lecture start date varies slightly, but it's in the first half of January and ends in early April, with final exams being throughout April. And then spring term, spring and summer are, there's a spring term and a summer term. They're condensed. They're 6 weeks each. May, June is spring term, and July, August is summer. So that's in general when they start and end.
Again, not writing for application, just submitting grades. For in February, the ones that will be taken more in consideration is that first semester of grade 12 instead. Yes. If you're missing any course, we'll supplement it with grade 11, but we want to see a big part of them in grade 12 already. Oh, that will be a hard one. How many, the percentage of offers, because it will really depend on every single program and major, right? Because we are giving an ongoing acceptance, so it will depend on how much space we have left at that time. It's not that we save a specific amount, it's we just kind of see how it goes as the time progresses. Yes, there's not a specific amount of spots saved, no. But of course, if you are worried about all these, feel free to send us a message, and we can definitely talk about your specific case. You may have to recreate it if it's been a while since you entered to my UCalgary account. It may just be erased. Give it a try. If it doesn't work, you can create a new one. And if it feels like the machine is seeing that there's two numbers of two people trying to get the same contact information, it will pop an error. Again, you can get in contact with us and we'll make sure that those two different accounts join to one. So don't worry much about that, but definitely give it a try if you still have all your passwords and all that. Calculus is not needed. The math that we are looking for is more like a pre-calc. Biology, it is tough for admissions. To submit your grades, you have to go to my UCalgary, and you have a to-do list. In there, you have the space to upload the documents.
Just one piece on the calculus,
Yes.
just making sure that our info is correct over here too, with you as the central hub for admissions, Camilla. For biomechanics, that is that one anomaly where they require calculus if they're wanting the biomechanics major, I think, or else they take the Math 249 when they come in. We have it on our resources that you need it if you're going into biomechanics. So
yes, that's a good one. Thank you. Yeah,
okay.
you're right. For that specific one, there may be a little bit of a change in there. Yes. Thank you.
So that's just to prepare. So biomechanics is a little bit different because you're entering in even in first year into some of those engineering courses, and calculus and physics is required for even those early first year courses in engineering. So that's where the difference comes, because of those courses that are a little bit different from the core. Take the core requirements, but in addition, you're taking these engineering requirements as well. So that's just a piece. But for any of the other majors, calculus isn't required. How do you submit predicted grades on your application? I don't know if you answered that one. I missed it.
Yes. The next one for assistant of paying, the best thing to do right now is apply for awards. If you submitted already your application, make sure you submit your application for awards before December 1st, because the prestige awards are the most valuable ones. So that's where you can get quite a big help. Then there's, of course, other options as applying for governmental loans. We have payment plans with the university. So there is definitely a lot of help that you can receive. But yeah, that's kind of like the main resources. Awards are not specific to the faculty in the sense that there's not an application process specific to the faculty. You apply more general to all of them. To high school entrance is a quick questionnaire, yes or no question. Prestige awards is essay type of questions. In there, you're gonna even be asked things related to engineering. There's gonna be a mix of different things. You can ignore those, don't worry about that. It's just because some are specific for the faculty, but the application will put you in the pool for all the different awards that we offer. You can, but if you're really worried about this, send us a message. I'll make sure to put our contact information on the chat. But if you are really, really worried about this, talk to us. We'll try to figure out with you what we can do about it. There is other opportunities for awards outside the university, even in our own page. If you go to UCalgary Awards, there's gonna be a space where you can find extra resources to get help funding your studies.
Just checking with you, Camilla, is the future.students at ucalgary.ca, is that still an adequate email address for them?
Yes and no. It's a
Okay.
really general one, but
Okay.
we do have more specific emails.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to put it in the chat. Hopefully everyone will be able to see it. That link will give you, like, first it will show all our pictures and like our positions, but in there is also a little questionnaire that you can answer to know who's the best person to talk to. So for example, if you're located in Calgary, it will ask you if you are like where you live, if you are an international student or not, things like that.
What time do you close if we were to walk in for an appointment? Well, kinesiology or, so for in terms of advising, or maybe it's actually probably for admissions at this point, it's gonna be
Imagine
enrollment services, yeah.
For enrollment services, we are usually accepting walk-ins until 4, but some days it changes quite a bit. We do have our events page where you can see our specific schedule, and you can actually book appointments with the recruiter as well. I'll make sure to send that link as well on the chat. But yes, usually 4 is our cutoff.
Imagine if your average is a mid-70, will you still be considered?
You will, but it is a little bit of a tough one. Mid-80s is quite different than mid-80s that we're looking for. But you will still definitely be considered. In that case is where we wanna put a really strategic second choice program. But definitely send us a message. We can help you figure out which one is the best second choice for you.
Okay, well, have a great rest of your evening and you know how to reach us. And happy to connect with you further if you have for kinesiology specific questions about the programs and courses and what it's like when you're here in the program. And Camilla and her team at the recruitment and admissions. And she said she put some links in the chat for probably the majority of your questions at this point relating to admissions and your application process. So, yeah. Okay, well, take good care.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye.